Welcome to the docuseries Black Love in the Six, where we go deep on all things love. Tell us a bit about yourself. Give us your name and where you're from in the city.
So my name is Sammy Trama. I am a pastor, an author, and life coach. I'm originally from Hamilton, Ontario. I'm currently in Ottawa, Ontario.
Beautiful. And so give us your definition of Black love.
So for me, Black love is the embodiment of pulling on both of our roots, which hail from both the motherland and the islands, and now taking that rich tapestry and finding a way to express that which we know very well unconditionally for one another. That's what I define Black love as.
Do you believe there's a difference in Black love and love?
Very much so. The thing about Black love is that Black love has been tested, it has been tried, and it has been extended without expectation. And so now we are in a unique place where Black love is not just being qualified and being extended on a wider basis, but it's now being understood by the masses who've received of it without ever having to extend any love back.
I like that. What about love languages? Do you believe that everybody has a love language?
Oh, I definitely believe in the 5 love languages. I think discovering the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman was a life changer for me. I realized that the part of me that was into physical touch, that was looking for those warm embraces, and that connection through touch was valid. Understanding words of affirmation, quality time, and these different things, it really changed my perspective, especially understanding that the way that we give and receive love is not necessarily the same that your partner gives and receives loves. And so you might think you're communicating love because you're speaking through the language that you understand or you receive. But if it is not what your partner actually now values and calls love, frankly, you're lost in translation. So that was a big game changer for me in relationships.
So welcome to the docuseries Black Love in the Six, where we go deep on all things love. Tell us a bit about yourself. Give us your name and where you're from in the city.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Simone Rowe, aka Miss Unstoppable. I was born in Jamaica, Montego Bay, St. James to be exact. I live now in Canada, Toronto, Ontario. I am an author. I am an artist. I am a humanitarian. I am also an entrepreneur. I am the CEO and founder of the Unstoppable Movement, which is designed to shape the minds of individuals, allowing them to become the best them in this life. Because I strongly believe that if you can change your mindset, then that can change your life.
Do you believe in Black love?
I believe in love. I believe in love. I wouldn't say black or white. I believe in love in general.
And what is your definition of love?
My definition of love comes from us loving ourselves first and being able to extend it to others. I believe that if you're not able to love yourself, then you're not able to love others, because it all starts with us. I believe that, love is supposed to be taught by your parents while you're growing up so that you know what love is. Unfortunately, within our Black community, we see that that is lacking a lot, and that is something that definitely need work on, because without them knowing how to love themselves, then they're not able to love others. And that will cause a lot of issues within relationships, within, just within your family, within your circle, within the community in general. So to me, love is a very powerful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. But unfortunately, a lot of people have not experienced it. And I'm so thankful for this, because I'm hoping that through these different perspective of what love is or what it should be, a lot of people will get impacted, or it would teach a lot of people in regards to what they should be doing, what they could be doing, and how we can, just put more life into love. Love is not just what we say, but it's what we do. It is not just, we saying that I love you, but also being able to show me. And that's something that's been lacking. As a young girl growing up, and I know that a lot of people will be able to, relate to this. I was not taught what love is by my mother, and my father was not in the picture. So I was growing up as a young girl with a lot of self-esteem issues, with a lot of self-confidence issues, and all the things that a girl should have, a child should have, because they should be taught what love is, so that these things will not be, within them, but unfortunately, I went through that, and I know that a lot of people have went through that. And believe it or not, at this point, I believe that a lot of people still don't know what love is. As much as they're older, they still does not know what love is. And I hope that through this, someone will know what it means to love. It is not just the words, but the action that come with it. That is my definition.
Welcome to the docuseries Black Love in the Six, where we go deep on all things love. So tell us a bit about yourself. Give us your name and where you're from in the city.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everyone. I'm Miss Natasha here. I'm an author, educator, digital educator, and speaker. I'm also a mom of two and auntie to many. I live in the city of Whitby, but I'm privy to many other spaces around in the Six as well. And I'm just happy to be here talking about all things love.
Love it, love it. So give us your definition of Black love.
Black love is everlasting. It's ever changing and evolving. It's precious. It's grand. It's foundational. It just flows. It's strong and kind and grace-filled.
So what would you say are 3 top qualities, in your opinion, that Black love consists of?
Coming to the situation, or coming into the love whole as one, having that understanding that even if it's a friendship, love, relational, or family, that you're coming into it as you, and bringing that, just that knowing of self can attract that grand love, and seeing it within my grandparents, and seeing it within other people. I found that Black love is so forgiving and so genuine. And I think that's all that comes to my head.
And those are some definitely some very important qualities when we're expressing Black love. And you mentioned self-love. So do you believe that you can love somebody else without loving yourself?
No, I do not believe that, because it's like you're giving that love from an empty place. So you're able to do it, but it's even more sweeter when you know all of you and you're aware of who you are and how you tick.
What's your definition of self-love?
I think self-love starts with understanding that you are a unique expression of God's design and idea for a whole thought. And when you understand that, it's very easy to extend what God is giving to you daily to yourself. Self-love is saying that I have value. The value is inherent, and I will honor that value by making sure that I take up the time to discover my strengths, my weaknesses, cater to what is needed, and not neglect and push everything else in the forefront, but start with yourself.
Okay. So with that being said, then, do you believe that somebody could love another without loving themselves?
I believe that they can offer a limited version of their love, but whatever it is that's being offered will have a timestamp and will be limited because of the fact that the reserve that is frankly going to come from the self has never ever been filled. And so we can't pour from an empty cup. And when we take up the time to say, listen, I will love and value ourselves, it's very easy to now give that to a partner, to share that with family, to share that with friends, co-workers, and those in our sphere of influence. So it definitely is not possible to go past a certain limit if you haven't actually taken the time to love yourself.
Talk to us about like the importance of representation, the importance of your children, my children, our children seeing successful Black couples.
I believe children live what they learn, right? And what we implement in them, what we show them, what we demonstrate to them, that is exactly what they're gonna carry with them, right? So if they're raised in a relationship or within a home where the father is always abusing the mother, then most likely, not 100%, but in majority, the person could become an abuser, because that's what they were taught, right? That's what they grow up in, right? And it is so important for us, as I mentioned before, within the Black community, we have to not just say, but we have to do, right? We have to express it, right? And my take is that even while I was growing up, I've never heard my mom really say, I love you, right? But based on what she was doing, I knew that there was love in it, but she never said, I love you. She never hugged us. She never kissed us. She never, those things were lacking. And as you mentioned earlier, it has a lot to do with the way that she was raised, because a lot of times the way that you're raised, as I said, right, we carry that and we think that that's the best way, right? Myself right now, I knew what I was lacking within my childhood. So I make that decision that I'm going to break that cycle within my family, which include my children right now, right? It is not enough for me to just say that I love them, but I'm also supposed to express it. And how do I express it? I'm going to be hugging them. I'm going to be kissing them. I'm going to be, speaking positivity in them, because even in the Black community, a lot of the parents, we say, I love you, but then we say these horrible things to them on top of that. Like, how does that help them? Like, what is it doing to them? A lot of children today, they are damaged mentally and emotionally because of the things that was said to them while they're growing up. Some of the things are, you're worthless, you're good for nothing, I wish you have never been born. How do you say those things to those to your children, but at the same time you're telling them that they love that you love them. That is confusing, you know. And a lot of these younger generation, and even big men and big women today, they're still damaged from that childhood trauma, right? In the same aspect where a parent would beat that child, and in the midst of beating them, they would tell them that they love them. So when they get older now, they do the same thing to the partner. Because we see now that within the Black community, there's a lot of domestic violence. There's a lot of men killing off, you know, women. And to back up that a little bit, you know, we were not teaching our sons. You know, we focus a lot on our daughters, but we don't focus a lot on our son within the emotional aspect. And that is something that needs to change.
So personally, do you think that you've seen a lot of representation of Black love growing up?
So one of the things that really blessed me in terms of my personal journey was witnessing my parents' relationship. So they are coming on 40 years of marriage next year. And I have never not seen unconditional love being expressed between the two of them. I think one of the things that was a gap in their marriage was learning their 5 love languages, as well as learning how to set up an open line of communication. And so when I set out to both extend the love that I had from myself to another, and to also find the person that was the right complement to me, I made it a point to say, listen, that line of communication will be open. And that place of saying, listen, there is a way that I love that must be understood, but there's also a way that whoever I will be with and do life with loves. And I have to now take out the time to step back and understand that it was priority for me. So I did have those examples. I also had the example of so much love from family and friends. I think that friends are frankly the family that we choose. And so as you're going through your life journey, as you begin to choose different men and women and even young people that you call friend, you realize that this is the family that you are actively choosing. And so walking through various seasons with friends, walking through various seasons with family has been what's really exposed me to love. And then, of course, the love of my life, Atia, our marriage has been such a mirror into what love truly is versus getting past the fluff of what love is. And so having that intentional love where we're able to show up and offer each other a safe space, we're able to now grow together, we're able to challenge each other to be better. It has opened me up to a completely different understanding of what love truly is and how love can impact positively when it is being brought and extended properly.
So just a thought now, when it comes to the Black relationship, we have heard the phrase, you know, Black men don't cheat. Intimacy is usually never a problem in the Black community. We don't have a problem with intimacy, but we may have a problem with the concept of monogamy. Do you believe in monogamy?
That's like when two people are together and that's it, right?
Yeah, so you just have one partner, no
Yeah,
cheating.
I do believe in monogamy. I also believe that if you're going to think like you want to do something, maybe you should just talk with them so then they understand that you're on that wavelength. So then you're not having to, I guess, step on other people's toes when it comes to that sort of thing. But I do believe, again, you can have two people living a life and having a great time with one another exclusively. Even in this day and age, you can. Yeah.
So what do you think about social media and how it affects our Black relationships?
Social media is a very it can be very negative, right? Because right now we're looking at, let me just use an example of this interracial couple that is going through a traumatizing thing right now. Cora, right? And this morning I was watching it. I never usually follow her, but for some reason she popped up on my thing and I was watching it. And one of the things that she said that really stood out is that she was apologizing for faking, pretending that she was happy in her marriage. So a lot of times we look at relationship on the internet and we get envious, we get jealous, we get, I want that. But do you really know what's going on? Do we really know what's going on behind closed door? Because a lot of time people only show us what they want us to see. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is what it is. So as I was listening to her, I could tell that she was genuinely telling the truth, and there was so much pain that was coming from it. Because a lot of times, to make our audience happy, we pretend to show people what we want them to see, because we don't want them to see our flaws. We don't want them to see what they can see. Like, we don't want them to see the ugly. Let's just say that. We want them to see the good. We don't want them to see the bad. So we fight behind closed door, and then we come in front of the internet and we laugh and we smile and we be joyous just to entertain them. And then after that, we're gone, right? And then a young girl now, or a young boy, or a woman out there that is desperate for love, it affects them, because now they're like, I wish I had that. I wish I had a husband that loved me like that. I wish I have a wife that, is so amazing. But is what they're showing really what it is? No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that every person that does this on the internet is pretending. But what I'm saying is that that is a perfect example of what social media can do to people. Because we see the good and we want the good, but are we ready to take the bad with it? Are we ready to take everything that comes along with what they have? Because I'm pretty sure that if you see everything that's happening, you would not be envious of it. You would not be jealous of it. You would not even be desperate for it. Because a lot of times we just don't know what's behind closed door. We only see what people show us. So for people out there, I would recommend you not being envious of other people's relationship, because we don't know exactly what their relationship really is, because personally, they can only show us what they want to show us. And if you ask for that and you get it, would you be happy with it? So that's my take.
What would you say in our community, and of course in the Black community, around marriage today? Like, is it taboo?
I would say that it is not taboo, but there are many people who share from their broken experiences and now begin to make those things the rule of law concerning relationship. And if we only focus on the dysfunction of relationship, the dysfunction of love, the dysfunction of marriage, it is no longer appealing for those who might say, like, I actually desire this thing, right? I want to walk through a committed partnership to someone, and I want to do life with them until we are literally in velour suits, 95 with walkers. So it's very important for us to share from the place of not just dysfunction, but give a balanced approach to say, listen, this is the whole scope of what it is that marriage is, especially in the Black community, where we as Black men, we have a responsibility to uplift, to hold up, to strengthen our women and our children. And when we don't step up in that regard and say, listen, we value them enough to honor them with commitment. We value them enough to not put them in compromising positions. We value them enough to hear their stories and to not gaslight them, but to actually take note and begin to set up the spaces now that make them feel protected, make them feel loved, cared for. We are failing our community. And so I believe that for us as Black men and women, we have this extra responsibility to not just uphold the value of a committed partnership to each other, but also to champion both the positives and then to speak through the dysfunctions and talk about the possibilities and the solutions versus just hyper focusing on the fact that, this person is divorced, this person was cheating, this person had money issues, this person was dealing with health issues, and there was no understanding of how to deal with it. These are issues that come up, challenges that come up, but ultimately there are solutions and there are positive success stories that we need to focus on so that the generations to come after us, and even those who might be currently in relationship, are encouraged and empowered to say that we are stronger and we are better together. I can say that as a Black man, I dealt with microaggression in many ways in the marketplace, in communities of faith, even in that I have always been willing to serve in my community and even outside of my community. And so coming into a place of partnership with a Black woman that understood where I had been, that could see where I was, and that could understand where I was going and become an incubator for all of that for me, as well as a support and an active participant in the journey, it's been life-changing for me. And I don't think that any of us should be held back from experiencing that if that is something that we desire.
What do you think a future looks like for Black love?
What do I think the future looks like? That's a great question because I've been thinking about that. And it's like I go to this little um porcelain sculpture that I created, and I go to the family. I think of family and the strength and the foundation that we're supposed to build, and I think like in the future, the foundations are going to be stronger. The household and the little ones are going to be more aware of who they are and what Black love really looks like and what it really is. I believe that it's going to like there's just going to be more solidarity within Black love, and like for instance, throughout my years, I've always greeted strangers. People used to be like, "Can you just stop it?" So now I notice like when I'm out, I get like more feedback reciprocated to me as opposed to just whatever. I'm getting that morning, good, hello, I'm getting that more. So I know it's going to be more, we're going to be more secure in ourselves enough to be like, we are not competition for one another. We're actually lovers and not fighters. And we're just looking to build foundational, in-depth, like love for generations. So the future just looks full of love. It's the future of Black love looks and feels like, I guess, strength and promise.
How do you see Black love in the future?
As I said, if we work on the things that I talked about earlier, if we're able to implement the values, if we're able to teach our children, our youths, the community, family, friends, all of these people, the importance of love. And if we're able to have the knowledge of what love is, if we're able to show it rather than just say it, all of these things are going to take time, it's going to take work. But if we're able to work together and, implement these things in areas that is needed, then I strongly believe that, it can get better. It can improve. I don't believe anything is impossible. You know, I believe that everything takes time, it takes work, and it takes, you know, a positive mindset, you know, and if we put the work in, and if we're able to join together and get it done, I strongly believe that we can see a lot of successful Black couples going, you know, and a lot of, like, we can see more support within the community. We can see more, you know, long lasting friendship, long lasting family dynamics, you know, all of these things can be improved, but it takes knowledge, it takes work, and it takes time. So that's my take.
I want to ask you what your future of Black love looks like.
So I believe that the future of Black love is extremely bright. In terms of my own journey, I have seen so much expansion in that area. My family's expanding. I now have a new niece, and we're expecting a new nephew in our family. And so seeing that next generation begin to come forth has been very exciting for our family. I also believe that Black love as a whole is being championed now more than ever. And so that representation of seeing Black men and Black women love each other, seeing those who are in love with one another now begin to highlight the good in their partners, highlight the good in a committed union, highlight the benefits of Black love when it comes through friends, Black love when it comes through family. It is giving us courage to step out and to be unapologetic, to say that, number one, we're dope, and then to also say that, listen, Black love is possible, not just Black dysfunction, but Black love is possible. So I think the future is extremely bright. And for your boy, Sammy, I'm extremely excited to see what comes next for my wife and I and our family, and just our community. We are very close knit with our friends and family. And so it's exciting to see all the growth and advancement that's coming through Black love.